Hello, everyone. So today I will be playing four tables of 100 no limit on Bovada and talking through my thought process while in the hands and hoping to give some good gameplay for you guys to observe and maybe learn from or uh, just roast me for. So get right into it. Not really sure what to do with pocket eights on this with this short stack guy. I think I'm just gonna call. And then obviously flop a set because what else is there to do? Uh, on the bottom left here, I don't like three betting versus uh the hijack, so I'm just gonna fold. This guy checks, which stinks, but hopefully he just turned top pair or some sort of draw. We're going to bet half pot and jam the river on any river. Doesn't matter what it is. Over here, facing an overbet. I'm just gonna fold second pair. Um, and then here we get raised. So, so I could understand an argument for just calling, but what I really want to avoid is calling the min raise and then it goes check check on the river and I don't get few blinds. So I'm gonna put the money in now. He calls with ace king, obviously. So it's a very favorable turn for us, and we got our opponent in an unlucky spot. So looks like all of these tables have some clown players on them, so that's always good. With the queen seven up here on a dry board, that the three and the four are good for him, but I think overall I have the range advantage here. I'm going to keep betting, and then and clubs I'm also going to keep betting as long as it's not a three or a four of clubs. And we get raised. So I think we'll let this one go. Kind of stinks. We're here, we're playing a limped pot, and the jack eight. I'll just fold this. King queen offsuit can rebet sometimes. I'll three bet this time since it'll be entertaining for anyone watching. This is a really weak hand to do this with in the small blind. Um, so you know, if you're getting four bet enough, it's probably just a fold in the small blind. But since I'm playing against mostly passive players, I think it's fine. And then again, like ace deuce off is not an open blind versus blind, but this guy was short stacked when he bought in, and so I'm just gonna look to get involved with him. Um, with the ace 10 suited, I'm gonna make it. We beat no, I'll just make it 7.5 to go. And then with the fives, if I saw some fish in the blinds, some shorter stack monkey type players, I would probably just call, but in the cutoff, fives is going to be a fold for me. We see a really interesting flop on the bottom right with our ace 10. I'm going to start out with a half pot size bet, and I'm also going to open the fives up top. And my opening size will be three big blinds, because I just want to get more money into the pots and make the pots bigger, just because I feel like I have an advantage over the people I'm playing against. On the bottom right, this turn will be my hand hates this turn, and my range has less flushes in it than my opponent's range. I'm going to check back and hopefully bluff catch on the river. So the four of hearts is also really not a great card to see. What my opponent could have as a bluff is maybe, I don't know, maybe some nines of the heart, nines of the diamond, um, something like that. I don't know. This is really like whenever I see that size, I almost want to just make it like 12 big blinds and really just try to own him with like king, queen, or jacks or something. But uh, I think it's just a little too thin. I think he's just giving us a really good price to call, even though it was a four liner. I just don't think that there's any, like, I think we just have to call this. Uh, looks like we were chopping, unfortunately. Um, I don't know. I don't have any data to back this up, but my hunch is, well, sometimes I see people bet, what 1/6, even smaller, sometimes with nutted hands to induce raises. So I just wasn't prepared to face a three bet on the river there if I had raised. Um, sometimes you do own yourself, right? So if I made a small raise and then he calls with ace jack, that's one hand, or ace five, ace three. Any of the wheel aces still beat me and might for some reason choose that size. We defended the nines, uh, hijack versus big blind, and hmm, versus the third with the nines. I think I can still call this. Our opponent can have king queen or queen jack or something else. And then on the river, I'm tempted to put out a small bet. And this serves a few purposes. So one, if he has something like kings or queens, and he if we check, then they might bet half pot. And maybe we face a decision here in the river. Um, but this kind of we get to set our own price, and he might still call with something like 8-7 of hearts, pocket sixes. Um, so it works out that time, which is really nice. I really like that we were able to find some value there. I pulled up the hand replayer, but unfortunately, Bovada cannot. It's having some issues, a little bit fussy with the connection as usual. So unfortunately, I can't tell you guys what our opponent called with, but if I had to guess, it was probably a low pocket pair, and then sometimes even maybe king queen high as a bluff catcher on that river. I really like how I played that hand. I want this thing to go away. There we go. Just watching this hand here. I think player six is a little bit of a monkey type player. I'm not intimidated by his stack. I think that what he just did was a good move. He just jammed on King Jack Jack 8 with a heart flush draw over a pot size bet. So I'm not sure what part of his range would want to play that way, but gonna I'm just gonna give this guy a little bit of a note just so we can remember that he's there in case his stack changes and renders him indistinguishable from the rest of the players. I wanted to mark someone else earlier, but I forgot. Ace 10. Good 3-bet versus the hijack open. We get 3-bet and not going to be continuing with the queen jack offsuit. So I've missed what just happened here, but it looks like our friend at pocket four is all in on a board where should not be in the pot. So we're gonna try to take some money from this guy, player six over here. Doesn't look like it would be that hard, so we're gonna look to get involved with him. We also have we have three shorter stacks. This looks like our best bet so far for winning some big blinds out of the three tables I'm currently at. We have queen, queen in the small blind, and going to make it 12 big blinds. I'm gonna see if I want to go to 11. I've been going to 12 or 13. Like I just don't. It's just threw me off a little because his size was small opening, but I'm gonna be relatively. I'm not going to regard their opening size in the with respect to if it's 2 to 2.5. I'm still just going to go to 12. And if it's 3, I'll go to 13 or 14. Just think that um, I just think that the slightly more polar sizes from small blind and big blind. That's how I like to to come at it in those configurations. I'm going to open the king 10 different suits in the cutoff. So this player limped under the gun, so we're going to make a note. That might help us in the future. This player is not going big enough. Went to 9.5 over 3, so I'm gonna just make a note because I think he's a little bit of a weaker player than I am. So we'll just keep a note of that. Okay, and so this guy just called a 3-bet with Jack 4 suited, so this is an absolute monkey. We really would like to get involved with him. Hopefully he tops up. Over here, we're going to be isolating the 39 big blind stack limp under the gun. And over here in the big blind, we'll defend with the deuces. And it's also nice to see this guy come along. I'm not going to be, I just think I just fooled this. Wow, so this player donks into me. That's interesting. So 66% pot. That's weird. I'm just going to call. Not really sure what our opponent is trying to tell us here. I think that it'd be very, very weird to see him show up with a deuce. I am tempted to check back. I really don't know what to do. Do I check? I think I'm going to check this time. We get value on the turn from spades, but we also let Miss Spades bluff the river when we check. His donk is indicative of hand like sevens or a weaker queen. I want to. Ugh, I'm just gonna bet pot. This might be really, really. I don't know. Like, I just don't know. I'm gonna bet pot. See what he does. This guy's mad that I'm taking so long. Which is fair. I am taking a while, so I apologize, player one. So it looks, unfortunately, I mean, it looks like he was just screwing around. Maybe we should have bet turn with our pair of queens. Uh, yeah, I don't really know what to do there. Um, this player limped, so I don't think we have very high odds of getting re-raised by the big blind. So I'm actually going to call getting really good odds with the suited ace. This is not, this is off script. So this is exactly what I thought would happen. You know, go multi-ways to a flop with a hand with high implied odds. Judging by this player limping under the gun previously, I really didn't think it was likely that I'd get raised. And now we find ourselves in bad position with our exact hand. Okay, well, I'd be really interested to see what this guy has. Obviously, we're going to fold, but that is just, I don't know what this guy's doing. This guy is definitely a monkey. But it seems like all players were interested in the pot with king, queen, and ace, jack. Okay, so this player, I don't know what that was a terrible jam. I don't know why he would jam there. Um, so this player is also a little bit of a monkey. I mean, he flatted free. Heads up, I'm going to open eight deuce suited, and then over here, I really just would love to play a pot and flop a set against player three. We're just gonna remind ourselves of who this guy is. And hopefully player two does not squeeze. He does not. And we get a pretty good flop, all things considered. If it checks to me, I'm going to bet. Um, but like one hard broadways are going to continue and just deny equity from most of this player's range. This player um, can also have some hands. And now I think we still beat a lot of this player's continues, so I think we can just check and we'll, now that we're at the river, we might try to bet and well we'll see what this player does. So he comes with a third, and I don't think we have any decision here but to raise. Um, okay, so he calls our flop bet, and then he goes small on the river. I don't think we win at showdown, and I think we could get him to fold a 10 or an 8. So I think this is a good spot to put in a bluff with our pocket sevens. Um, I don't really think that he has many good hands when he chooses this sizing on the river. So now we do the fun part and wait for the call. and that's really good. So he folds, which is nice. Uh yeah, I mean, I just think that that's such a terrible sizing by our opponent on the river, and his hand is very face up, and it just really gives us the liberty to go ahead and do exactly what we just did. Okay, so defending the ace nine off and then flopping top set down here. This player is such a monkey that this is such he's showing interest, right? So I'm just gonna raise because I this player is just doing some weird stuff. So I'm just gonna raise with my top set. And he calls. Interesting. Up here, this player overbets the flop. Wow. Wow. Okay, we're gonna open the ace three off here against our friend. Wow, he overbets. I think I have to call with my ace. But down here, we can bet again. I think our opponent probably has some clubs. So we're just going to go. I didn't have enough time to think. Um, maybe we got, I like my size there. What did I bet? I mean, I didn't have enough time because I was looking at a few different things. Oh, but he donks for pot and then calls the raise and then folds the turn. So not really sure how to range my opponent there. Down here, I guess my hand is a little face up when I block the river, but this is weird. I don't know what this guy was doing. This guy is also a monkey because he just overbet the flop and then gave up. Like, what are you expecting to happen there? This player is definitely doing some funky stuff as well. So now we've been at the table for a while and we've found some players that we can target and hopefully win some big blinds. It's a shame because down here it doesn't look like we're getting placed anywhere. So we might have to exit out of this in a second. I'm getting a little bit impatient. But in the meantime, we can play King Queen. So this is the guy that just overbet the flop and then checked down. And a raise, obviously. My size for ISOing one limp is 4.5. And then usually if there's two limps, I'll go to 6 big blinds. Queen 10 off down here. I'm just trying to think if this is an open or not from the cutoff. Well, it's okay. We don't have to decide. Okay, this is interesting. So we get limp raised and king queen off is definitely good enough to continue. I think I'm definitely worried seeing this. This could be a whole range of hands. Obviously, the this classic play in the book is ace ace when this happens, but don't think I'm going to do anything besides call with my king and queen. And just a better board for my opponent's range overall. Don't really have much going besides our backdoor flush draw. Hopefully he checks and we get to realize some equity in possession. And that's exactly what happens, which is nice. So if our opponent is playing correctly, I like checking here with some over pairs of the heart, but I don't really think that that's what this guy has. I think we're going to check and just try to see a good turn card. So he checks again. Um, do we want to start bluffing with our hand? I don't start bluffing because I think I lose to ace high too much when I just call. Um, I mean, I kind of thought he was going to do that. So easy decision for us. So this guy is interesting. I don't know what to think about that. I guess he did bait me into putting in 9 big blinds more than I would have if he just had bet the flop. So we're matched up in here. I'm going to open ace deuce. Actually, I'm going to limp the ace deuce off. I really like playing heads up, and I don't think that a lot of sometimes when I'm playing heads up on here, I feel that everyone's playing way too tight. So I think I do have an edge on my opponents in that regard. Down here with the king queen, just gonna fold. And then checking back, we probably have the best hand with ace deuce a majority of the time when we're playing a limped pot. So honestly, I'm just gonna try to show this down here. And luckily enough, we win. So here, oh, okay. Well, I meant to go a third, so I got it out in time. Um, okay. This is gonna be a board where we're gonna go a little bit ape shit. Sizing up. I want to go more than 66%. I'm gonna do something like this. And then if the spades miss, we're gonna. Okay, so good. He folds. Over here with the Jack Jack, I'm going to make it 12 big blinds. And given this configuration, if we get 4-bet, I'm probably just going to put the money in. Our opponent will have plenty of bluffs to choose from. Okay, well, he folds. But I guess I was getting excited there. And here we're going to defend with the ace 8 of different suits. And we get a pretty good flop for our range. I guess in heads up, it's a little bit more blurred, but facing half pot, really easy decision. We have 2 overs. We have a backdoor straight draw and backdoor nut flush draw. And so our opponent checks back the turn. Over here, once this guy cold calls, I'm going to go ahead and squeeze. Over here, opening with the queens. Down here with the 8 in hand, it definitely is not good having the 8. Well, I don't think having the ace of spades is that relevant. I think that with the 8, I can overbet and get some respect from our player on the button. So I like this as a call or as a overbet. I wish I could do these emotes. I don't know how people are getting these emotes. I want to have access to those. Ace, 7, 8. We are not holding a club, but I still like to. But this guy's spaz. I'm gonna still bet this flop. Now I don't want to go too small because it is a little bit connected. I'm gonna go 50, and then if he calls, just probably give up. Maybe continue on. Definitely not continuing to bet on this card. Maybe if the turn is a Broadway and it goes check check, we can consider some bets, but given given the action, then the exact cards we're holding, I just don't really want to continue with the king 10. Fair play to you, sir. Opening the jack 3. This is probably the worst jack. I mean, I mean, maybe I open jack deuce. I don't know. We have two fish in the blinds, so 10-9 is probably a little too loose to open under the gun, but what did this guy do? Forgot. Okay. So, I mean, this guy three bet small, so if we get three bet, we'll have a good price. And then this guy's a little bit of a spaz. So I like opening 10-9 when we can play against some not so good guys in the blinds. And that it's almost like I predicted what was going to happen. So nothing to do really here but call. I forgot. Okay, so last time he did this, he had ace king, like this exact size, the 9.5. So I think we can range our opponent pretty effectively here on what he might have. Not the best flop, but okay. When you take that's a really good size actually by our opponent. I really like that size, and I don't know. I kind of still want to call, but I just feels a little bit. And then down here, I'm gonna raise against this guy who limped in the small blind. Oh, I don't know. This is kind of close, I feel like, right? Well, I know we have two overs and cards like that in the turn, but facing 12, I just don't think that. I think he's making money off of us when we call there, and he has even ace king. And then here we get donked into on the flop, and we have some back doors, so this is an easy continue with the queen 6. Yeah, this player is a is a colorful guy for sure. That's a really weird size, and nine of diamonds probably one of the worst cards to see. Don't mind letting our queen 6 go. I like my raise still, just considering his profile. Over here, we're going to be defending with the ace 10. I don't know, versus the 2/3, considering if we put our opponent on broadways and we have two overs and a backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, might be enough to consider a call, but I don't know. Here we're going to raise the queen 9 for sure versus the limp. And then here versus the big bet, I'm just going to fold the ace 10 versus the over 3/4. Here with the ace king on a dry board versus a weak opponent, I'm going to start with a small bet and to play. Okay, so we have a jack on the turn. Our opponent can have some ace highs. Opponent can have some sevens. I'm gonna check and probably call a reasonable size bet. Over here versus the min on the button, we're gonna be three betting. And I think since he went 2, we'll go to 11. Over here, some crazy action going on. Let's let our queen. Maybe that's too loose to in that position. Over here versus the 7, I'm going to just. I think I'm just going to pitch the ace king here. He chose a pretty large size. So that was interesting. Well, he had ace queen, so I guess that's not. This player seems to be pretty solid. So maybe we're gonna be wary of him and look to play against the other characters at the table on the bottom left. But I like his play there with the ace queen. with a lot of dead money on the table. And I'm sure that he knows what I'm doing, right? Like when I go to 4.5, I have queen nine. Like I'm not rate, I'm even opening full, I'm open folding queen nine in, like when I'm not even horrifying that hand there. Um, so that's a very good read on my opponent, by my opponent. So here I'm going to start out with a check, flopping middle pair on ace queen 6-3, and then now when my opponent checks again, I'm going to get one bet in here and then look to possibly go for some value on the river. Okay, so that's a hand that I might consider. Hmm, I kind of want to bet here. Here, actually, versus this. We have some equity. I'm just gonna fold. I'm gonna bet half pot here, and I don't think he has an ace. Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I was hoping was gonna happen. So it was good to find that river bet there. I think I telegraphed my hand a little bit using the half pot. I was tempted to go 3/4 because I don't think he's elastic enough to. I think his bluff catching range is the same when I bet a half and when I bet 3/4. So I think sizing up a little bit on that river, but um, I don't think that the ace on the river, it's actually a really good card to see. So hopefully that's something that you guys can see how to find that value bet, because um, it's another thing, right? If it's not an ace on the river, but I think you can still find that bet regardless. Over here, I don't want to check, so I'm going to bet because I think I just want to start applying pressure on a dry board. This person's range is really weak, and then obviously this guy is getting in there with a lot as well. So when the four pairs, what do we want to target? I think that if we bet again, we could get sixes and fives and threes and deuces to fold. He can still have 10-9. He probably won't fold 10-8, 9-8, 7-8, Jack 10, Queen Jack. I think probably there's a lot to target, but then there's also a lot that just hangs on for another street. Um, I just don't think that we had. This guy is a. This is the player that we think is relatively sound. I'm just gonna fold the ace high, but I definitely think that you could find a. Oh my God! See, that's what I'm talking about. That's annoying. See, uh, maybe I should have bet the turn. I don't know, on the river, you could definitely make a case for calling, folding this hand over here. Oh, that stinks to see that. Really annoying that we get bluffed by that guy. Um, oh, that was a good bet by him, though. Um, okay, and our opponent over here pots the monotone flop, which is really concerning. This is probably a fold sometimes. Whatever. I think we just call here. Really good turn card. Um, okay, this is really concerning. Do we know anything about this guy? Is he ever doing this with like ace seven with the ace of hearts? Oh, I feel terrible right now. He's potting it twice. I don't know. What is he doing? I'm gonna fold. I don't trust that our opponent would have to be getting really out of line for me to make that call, I think. Ugh, I think I'm getting I hate to just call the flop and then just fold on the best turn, literally the best turn that I could have asked for. But he made it 20 big, he gets pot and then pot again. I'd be really interested to see what he had. I'm gonna look that up as soon as I get the chance. Really frustrating to face that action twice. I think on that card I probably have to call the right. If I'm calling the flop and I'm just gonna fold on the best turn I can get. But then in the back of my, there's 60 big blinds going into the river. The river is the king of clubs. I face another huge bet. You know, what am I doing then? What am I doing then? I don't know. So I see a good squeeze opportunity here. This guy is obviously a weaker player sitting with 53 big blinds. It sucks. Uh, stinks. Didn't really see that a lot. Stinks. I'm gonna call over here. This guy only ISO'd the two big blinds, so I expect him to just come along. And here, this guy bets a little bit more than half. I think I'm just gonna call with the sixes. Second pair with backdoor straight draw. And then that's a good turn, all things considered. He could still have sevens through jacks. But I think I'm going to call. I don't really see any option here, but just to continue calling, especially the price he's giving. Basically, seems like we're getting a little bit run over here. Okay, well here this is good. So our buddy limps, and we're going to ISO with the tens. I called down here because it was this player I want to get involved against. So I don't think it's too bad with really good implied odds. Or I guess not implied odds per se, but pot odds at least were okay. Another difficult situation, right? Because okay, so this player is a very aggressive. Okay, well he is just auto checked. Okay, this guy, I'm gonna call this. I don't believe this guy. I expect this guy to fold. Okay, we're gonna be calling down on this river. I don't care what this guy does. Um, is he limp calling any king X? Not sure. Not sure. Okay, I mean, What do we do versus that size? I think that's just a call. I don't know what to think about this hand. Um, he definitely can value bet worse hands. I think this is just a straightforward call. All right, well, that's a good result. So he is so he's limp calling 3-5 suited. I guess my poker replayer isn't working. Or it'd be working my computer too hard having this recording going with all these games open. Um, I'm gonna I'm just gonna practice. On that turn, I'll probably continue. I'll probably start betting. Yeah, I'm gonna bet on this turn and just start bluffing. I think we get some folds here. I think like, well, now I'm kind of mad at myself for betting on the turn. I just think that maybe I'm gonna give up this. I don't want to bet. I don't want to bluff. Well, that's okay. That's what is he doing? This guy's calling sixes on that board. So okay, I get no respect. So this guy is a little bit of a station, I think. Um, we are going to bet a little bit wider for value going forward, seeing what we just saw. Here, I'm going to call again. I mean, I know I'm doing a lot of calling here, but I don't want to squeeze this guy out of the pot. So I just want to play in position against this guy. Okay. What is going on here? I'm just gonna call. Okay, that's fine. Oh, look, that's a great result. I didn't get to give enough. I mean, he just jams. I have enough flush on a pair, so what else is there to do, right? It checks to me. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through every player if I start betting. So I think I'm just going to take the L on this one over here. And then we get a limp. So I think with 5.5, I'm obviously not so against this player. And then not going to bluff into this many people. And I think nines would probably look up a bet on the river, most likely. Okay, so this is a really good result. We get a limp call from this fella, and then we flop top pair. So I think I'm going to start with a half pot size bet. And we get raised. I mean, this kind of stinks, but it's a min raise. We can call and see another card. That is a bad card. It checks back immediately. I'm just gonna try to show this down. I have no clue. I think he might have 8-9. I think 8-9 is probably what we're gonna lose to, but I'm not gonna bet here. Okay, I mean, this guy is just out of his mind. This guy is a character. This guy is out of his mind. I don't know how in the world we lose on that, or I don't know how the world in the world we win on that run out, is what I meant to say. I don't. I wish that my hand replayer was working so I could see what he had, what he showed down with. I guess we are gonna run it back with the King Jack. This time we're suited, which is a step up. And then over here with the queen seven, is this too? This might be too loose to ISO. That's too loose. I can't be going that crazy. Just going to hope that he calls my third on the flop. Don't think he has anything really. Oh my gosh, what are these people doing? Okay, so like, how do I play against this, right? Min raise. I said just call and check to him on the turn. What am I doing on the turn here? Over here, I think this is a defend versus hijack. And then I think I'm just gonna check to my opponent, and then maybe I expect this to go check check once he gets called, because I don't think he has a king. Okay, so this is the thing. Like, this is really uncomfortable to see this size because I don't want to just call and then have the river go check check. You know? So like what do I do? This guy doesn't like how long I take. And then we're gonna show down our seven up here. I can't focus on this many hands at once. I mean, I just guess I could call this. I'm just gonna hope he bluffs. I don't expect him to. Expect him to check. And then over here, all right, I think we're gonna just jam this guy. Not gonna four bet. So what do I do over here? I'm gonna call this. I have a oh, you got owned pretty hard. Okay, all right, fair play to you, sir. I just think I just think we can bluff catch versus some broadways there with our bottom pair or with our third pair. And then here, just hoping that he doesn't believe us with a 10 or whatever he might have. Yeah. Okay. So that was really good, right? That I didn't raise the turn because I was for a second, I'm like, do I just put the money in? Maybe he has ace seven. He just doesn't believe me. Really happy that I didn't because we got the 11 and a half big blinds on the river. I want to do an emote back at him. I just don't know how to do it. How do you laugh? How do you? If anyone knows how to emote on Ignition, let me know. Yeah, they don't like how long I take. Everyone's giving me the ZZZ. Over here, we get what the heck is this? Okay, this guy's obviously okay. So we get a raise to a min raise. I don't know. I guess I just call with Jack 10. I mean, I guess life is pretty easy when that's the flop. He checks back immediately, which sucks. I'm gonna just go for check raise again. Okay, well, it's good news. I don't think this raise gets. I don't think this raise gets a lot of credit. Stinks. He probably didn't have anything. Um, I don't know. Let me know. Is that a bad raise on the turn? I just think that not really sure how else to extract value. Maybe I should have given that some more thought. Should have given that some more thought. I think he has a lot of air, but he could look me up with ace 10, ace 9, the draw, queen 10, any type of gutter. Get skeptical just with an 8 or something that he didn't want to bet on the flop. I don't know. I don't like my raise now that I think about it. because I think maybe he bets the river if I just call. Kind of annoyed at myself now. I mean, maybe he just had air. Maybe he just had king queen and he was just stabbing. Does he bet the river or does he bet the river if I just call? I think I regret. I think I regret raising the turn. I think that that's probably just because we don't need that much protection, right? We have a 10. We have a 10, so a 9, a 10, a 6, none of that's really scary, right? Like I guess like maybe you'd even want to raise more with a better jack, but I don't know. I'm just we were deep, right? So it's like I am trying to get money in the pot. I'm trying to get money in the pot. Maybe he just checked back aces or kings. And I mean, obviously he didn't that time, but I think that you could definitely take that line with aces or kings on that flop. I mean, the king nine suited button for this big blind. Really good flop. I don't think we will be check raising just because the board is just way too good for our opponent. I don't think we have many good hands on this board. Maybe some ace fours, certainly some ace jack offs. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe we. Okay, we're definitely raising raise that size. That we're definitely raising for that size. Now that I think about it in this configuration, definitely if it's like if it's under the gun or hijack that's betting, we probably don't raise, but this is also a bad size, right? Okay, I think we're gonna attack. This is a bad size. I think this is another monkey because you're never going a third on that board in those positions. Here, as the raiser, I think I just like betting here. Really good board for my range. Over here, we're just happy to raise again. Unfortunately, this guy has lost some chips, but we're definitely wanting to isolate and play a pot against this player. Stinks that we're out of position, but I think Queen Jack's still going to make a good raise. Get called. I'm going to keep putting money in the pot and applying pressure against this player. I think we can fold out pocket pairs, and we still get value from the spade draws that he might have. Over here, definitely going to be a bet. I should have gone bigger than half, I think. This is not good. Okay, over here, I think I'm going to bet. Bet again over here. All right, do we call this? Is the question. I think we do call. Oh, hey, now. What a great river. Just overkill, but what a great river. All right, please don't have king four or pocket fours. Over here, the question is, do we want to, I don't know. It doesn't feel good having the diamond. I think we just need to jam. This is gonna look, hopefully you just don't have a boat here. Okay. I think okay, yeah, good. Um, I think we just have to jam there. We can't risk it going to check check. Over here, I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up over here. Oh, oh man. Damn. He had ace king. I did not expect him to have that. Oh, I'm so mad about that. Bad. I should have just pulled the trigger. Too many things happening at once. I don't like his. Should he be calling there for versus the two thirds? I don't think so. Oh, that stinks. You're going to check back. You just bluff catch the queens. Really disappointed in myself because I just lose 100% of the time. I just think that it's not good having a diamond. It's definitely not good having a diamond. That was my one concern, but with I don't know, and then we also block some of his call folds, his own jack tens and whatnot. Um, and then with the fold here. Uh, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna throw my hands up and call. This is a short stack. I don't know. I don't think this can be too bad. The answer. So looks like we're getting owned on this table a little bit. I think Queen Jack there is like one of the hands that we should give up, honestly. Here, I think we can call. This is a really good hand with a lot of equity. I think the 5-6 does well. Uh, this is this is all right. What's going on here? I think we can start with a half multi-way. Hopefully get our some chips back from this player one here. And then just trying to show down our six versus anything random that he gives up. I'm not going to call it that. Just kind of an unfortunate run out for my hand. Not going to be putting any money in with this. Just this slim spot where I check my option against the guy that took us to town with the 7-3. Not going to pay him off this time. Hopefully this guy limps again. Would love to play another pot. Ooh, all right. So we get a min open under the gun and a call. So pretty good. Make it 10 on the button. What do we do if he jams? I might call if he jams, honestly. I really hope he doesn't jam. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna jam here. This is just ridiculous. I mean, this player has nothing. I'm a little worried that I'm getting trapped here. And I know he doesn't have any folds after he does this. This might be bad, but I don't care. I think it's okay. I would love to see. Wow, he folds. I don't mind if he calls the nines. Wow. Oh my gosh. What the heck is going on here? Okay, that was very unexpected, but really good result. This guy calls 19 and then folds. That is just, I don't even know what that is. Okay, here we get squeezed with jacks. So this is going to be, I think we just call. Uh, I don't know. This guy has been, oh, this guy hasn't been betting very big pre-flop. Okay, this is just really weird. Here we're going to check. And then, so open, call, re-raise to squeeze to 15, call 15, back re-raise. What is that? What is going on here? Uh, I wanted to three bet that, but I need to fold just so I have time to think. Easy call versus whatever that is. And then I think we just check call. Oh man, I don't know what's going on here, to be frank. Okay, we went over here. Maybe we should block bet the river there after he goes so small in the turn. Okay, I think we run into it a little here, but I think we're just gonna jam. Please don't snap call. Ah, he trapped us. Ah, we got trapped. That sucks. That sucks. Gonna go big on this flop. Oh man, we got trapped. I already called the 15 and oh, what are you gonna do there? What do you do there with Jax facing a cold call and then a squeeze? And is that the only thing he has when he takes that line? I've seen people do that before. It's usually not good. Um, I'm not gonna get frisky. It's really frustrating. It looks really strong. Maybe it's just a fold. Might just be a fold. Really interested to see what you guys think about that hand. Here, definitely big betting. Sure what the small blind cold calling range looks in these type of scenarios, but can't be too bad to bet with our exact hand. And we have a lot of equity and a lot of good turn cards that we can see. Like that one. That's a really good turn card. So now I think I have the liberty to bet huge. Honestly, I'd rather see the nine, but now with the double flush draw, I think I can bet huge. Um, can three bet the jack 10, but I'm just gonna call this time. I don't think we get called that often here, but nothing really else to do but besides bet 150p. And then here versus check, I'm gonna start betting with my jack 10. Um, and then probably gonna overbet the river. Hoping this guy puts some money in the pot for me. That's a really bad river. That's a really bad river. Oh, that's a really bad river. Oh man, what do I do on that river? Oh no, I don't know. I'm gonna do a smaller raise here because of the stack size. And the jack of diamonds, I might fold to a jam. Big. I don't know if I'm folding to a jam. Definitely gonna be re-raising this 6-5. I feel like we're gonna get jammed on. Don't jam. Please don't jam. Please don't jam. Hey. Oh, he had ace. Oh, he had king queen. Oh, it's so frustrating. Here, I'm gonna start with a small bet with the open ender. And on the turn here, I think on this turn I'll probably check back and probably bluff some rivers. That's definitely a river I'll bluff. Hmm, I don't have to. Can fold out any non-spade. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna do this and not worry about it. Getting a little bit frustrated here. This will probably be my last hand and call it a day. Okay, this is interesting. So we get two calls from the blinds. We find ourselves with top pair on a dynamic board. I like to probably just start betting a decent size. Okay, I think that's going to wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay, and let me know if you like the way I played or if you think I could have done some hands better. Let me know what I did wrong. And yeah, thank you for watching.